This club, I think, is my supreme being. This is a Gene Bolden design from 1923. I had the raw head, a raw turning from MacGregor. I put my own shaft in here, and there were other MacGregor clubs that had an insert, so I decided I would put an insert in this club. The head was molded by General Electric. It was one of the first composite heads that came out.
Was that a very successful club?
It wasn't very successful because nobody would play. I mean, metal shafts weren't successful when they first came out because the older players couldn't take their knife and whittle the shaft and make it fit their swing. The Cleveland Classic, it's copied after 1958, the MacGregor M85, which was probably one of the more famous MacGregor drivers that they had. See, those clubs have bulge and roll on them, and the bulge, if you hit it at the bottom, you might be about 9. If you hit it in the middle, it might be 10. You hit it up the top, you might be 11.
See, I know you've had a persimmon in your hand.
Yeah, I miss them. That's what you can do with persimmon right there. See that?
That driver was a TaylorMade Burner. This is probably about the second edition or third edition of the TaylorMade. It was something that with weekenders that was sold. You can't slice it, you can't fade it, you're going to hit it straight there, and there is no such club in the world that would happen.
This is the new TaylorMade R9, the most advanced driver on the market. It's got movable weight technology, so we can control shot shape. We can adjust the face angle on this driver as well to modify either launch conditions or shot shape. Back in the 50s and 60s, they would shave the face down to get the different face angles.
This is what he would play normally?
Yeah, so this is his fitted.
Did you see what happened here when he got his club versus, with the right loft, the right shaft? It was like, I mean, I wouldn't believe it'd be that big a difference, but it was like 20, like he said, 25, 30 yards difference between that TaylorMade, which had too much loft for him, and the one he just hit.
You've got all the data in from that test that we made of clubs of different eras. What did you find out?
I want to look at the differences as far as distance in today's technology and then accuracy. There was a 26% increase in distance.
With a hickory, if I were to hit at 200 with today's fitted technology, I'd hit at, what, 252?
Yeah. Part of that is the technology as far as the head, the material that's made out of the titanium, the size of it at 460. Graphite was introduced into it. The clubs got a little longer, lighter. That all was part of the big distance gain that we saw. Part of the distance was the decrease in spin that we saw too with the golf ball.
Yeah.
That came down 41%.
And I thought a lot of that spin thing might be due to the ball itself, but it looks like a lot of it was just, obviously we're using the same ball for the whole test, and so it had to be just the club itself was generating all that much less spin.
The accuracy, as we went from persimmon to steel to titanium, that was about a 34% tighter dispersion when we got to titanium. The key things that we pulled out of this was, as we started to move along in time with all these different clubs, we saw little increases in performance. Once we got into quality persimmon and the first stainless, we kind of started to get flat. For some of our players, they actually were better off with the persimmon than they were the first steel. And then once we jumped into titanium, that's when we saw the biggest jump in distance and dispersion. That's when everything started to explode. And then the last part of this test that we did is we had all the players come back in with their fitted drivers and compared fitted numbers to today's R9 or the hickory, and it spiked again on us. I mean, there was a big difference from a fitted driver to today's technology.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that when I saw that. I mean, I thought there'd be some difference, but, like with Scott, it was huge. Yeah.
Perfect example.
Yeah. It's great to see Gene out here again. We're just so lucky to have him around. I just love talking to him. He knows so much about clubs.